So I do a lot of first hundreds, which is obviously the first time I'm shooting that particular gun when I do a first 100. Sometimes it's completely the first time I'm shooting that model, or in some occasions even that brand. But it's not often that I do a lot of real firsts, but today I'm going to shoot 44 Magnum for the first time. The Smith & Wesson Model 29, the iconic Dirty Harry gun, 6.5-inch barrel. I am going to start out with MagTech 44 Magnum. And yeah, I know some of you may be saying, oh, come on, aren't those a little light? Well, I don't know, but don't worry, I got some full house stuff with me too. I've also got some softer baby loads, and I'm gonna probably use some of those too, depending on just how much this thing wants to buck. But let's give it a try. 44 Magnum. That's what I'm talking about. Man, is that all you got? Whoa, she looks accurate. She does look accurate. I think that was 6. Nope, that was 6. You know, in all this excitement, I kind of lost count. True story. There we go. All right. Well, it was the first 6 rounds for me, a 44 Magnum. I would hate to shoot that in a J-frame, I gotta tell you. I gotta be honest. But it's hard to get an ankle holster for this. When it comes to really silly, unscientific tests that prove nothing at all, I'm your man. So, starting with 1 round of Fiocchi 44 Special. This is a jacketed hollow point. I'm going to shoot a jug of water. Then I'm going to shoot another jug of water, just like it, with a 44 Magnum. And let's see if we can tell the difference. Personally, I doubt we'll be able to tell the difference, but it sure is going to be fun. And that is reason enough for me. So, first up, 44 Special. All right. Not all that violent an explosion, right? And now, in an effort to prove absolutely nothing except that I know how to waste time having fun, .44 Magnum. Yeah, so if you were looking for like a violent explosion, nah, not really. Okay, now let's do 5 rounds of Hornady, critical defense. Okay, staying serious. Let's go with some Hornady, rated at 1,350 feet per second, 240 grain bullet, jacketed hollow point. Let's see how the Hornady does. Tell you what, you can feel these bad boys. Okay. The iconic Smith & Wesson Model 29 6.5 inch 44 Magnum. This is the classic series. It's not an original. It is the -10, Model 29-10. Actually recently, just about the time I acquired this, Hickok 45 did a video on the 4-inch model. And I will say that one of the complaints he had was about the grips, and the fact that he felt the grips were a little too thin, that they sacrificed girth for perhaps beauty and quality of finish. I'm not going to disagree with that. You know, when I shoot something full house like that 6 Hour V Crown or the Hornady, Something at, you know, and you get into that 1,300 to 1,400 feet per second range, then you definitely can feel a little more punishing action up in the web of your hand. But it's still not unbearable. I mean, it's certainly not something I'd want to shoot all day. I don't think I'm going to make this the revolver that I shoot in IDPA, at least not with full house 44 Magnum. With 44 Special, it's a pretty soft shooter actually. But one of the things I find with this revolver and many that are large enough is that if you just let the gun do what it wants to do when you break the shot, you're better off. You know, let that muzzle come all the way up, and let that energy disperse. Don't try to force it back into your arm, and it's a lot easier. You're still going to feel it in your hand. There's no doubt about it. But a good firm grip, and then just let that handgun roll. Doesn't feel bad at all. We'll be seeing this some more. This is the first look at a very beautiful, iconic Smith & Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum. I think it just made my day. All right, let's try some serious stuff. Sig Sauer V-Crown 44 Magnum full house, rated at 1,300 feet per second, 900 foot-pounds of energy. Now that ought to give our paper target what for? Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me now? All right, that was 5 rounds of Sig Sauer. Looks like we kept them in that 1-inch group at 10 yards. That's not too bad. And that was some potent stuff.